Hello and welcome to the Inside Athletic podcast, the official podcast of Dunfermline Athletic Football Club. I'm one of your hosts, Logan, and I'm joined by Ricki. Ricki, how are you doing this evening?
Logan, I'm really good, mate. Really good. Looking forward to giving the fans a bit of an inside track as to what's going on at the club.
As we mentioned, it's the restart of the official club podcast. In this episode, we'll be speaking later on to midfielder Charlie Gilmour about his career so far, playing for the likes of Arsenal, St Johnstone, Norwich, and then moving to Scotland, playing, as I said, for St Johnstone, Inverness, loans to Alloa Cove, and now at Dunfermline. Also, in this segment of the podcast, we'll be looking at recent matches, probably the last 5-6 matches, reviewing them. Also, recent events by the club with the fans forum, the black and white ball, and in the upcoming events with the Scotland women's game and the Fife derby. So, just to start us off, Ricki, we'll look back at some of the recent matches. We won't go back straight to the start of the season, but we'll look to one of the higher points of the season so far, and that win up at Arbroath, the 5-goal win. What did you make of that afternoon, and how much did you think that would have been a starter point for the season?
It's one of those ones, Logan. I think it took us all a bit by surprise. Arbroath were in really good form at the time, playing at Gayfield, notoriously difficult place to get any kind of result, and to come away with a 5-0 win was an excellent, terrific result for everyone. And the fact that Andrew getting a hat-trick as well was a bit of a icing on the cake, and I think all fans came away from Gayfield with really good spirits, looking to kick on for the upcoming sort of round of fixtures.
And obviously, you mentioned Andrew there. His start to the season has been terrific. He's had a spell of injuries for the past few seasons. Just how delighted are you to see Andrew kick on as much as he has this season?
I don't think I've ever wanted a Pars youth prospect to succeed as much as I do want Andrew and John Todd to succeed in the black and white shirt. I'm a bit older than you, Logan. I remember his dad, Andy, their dad, Andy, playing for us. And sometimes, especially with John, it's just like watching his dad play. And his obviously local boys is the exact kind of players that you want playing for your club that know what it means to play for the Pars. I think both of them this season, they've just come on leaps and bounds, probably unexpectedly. I think it's given Neil a bit of a headache, perhaps, with some of the signings that they've brought in, and they've maybe not been able to get game time because of the form of both John and Andrew. So yeah, been really happy with them. Obviously, Andrew had a few injury problems, but he's back in the squad now, and hopefully going to add to his goal tally over the coming weeks and months.
Probably the game you didn't want after winning by 5-0 away from home is playing the league leaders St Johnstone live on the telly. Well, I suppose you might have wanted it at the time just to try and see where you're at as a team. That night up in Perth, it was a big crowd, big atmosphere, and we obviously started that game not the greatest, but then we managed to get the goal through Rory McLeod, a great finish from Rory. Going into that half-time period, were you excited for you think it was going to be a great win away for home?
Yeah, I think you saw that first 10-15 minute spell, St Johnstone just came flying out the traps, and that seems to be their game plan throughout this season, doesn't it? You've seen quite a few early goals from St Johnstone, and obviously we managed to hold firm, get a grip on the game, and great finish from Rory. I think we all kind of went into that second half hoping for more of the same. It did quite pan out that way, and the game kind of slipped away from us a little bit with the 2 goals, but look at the finish. We were so close, and that's probably been the story of the last few weeks, I suppose, is so close, but outstanding saves from the St Johnstone goalkeeper, and sometimes you need to just hold your hands up and say, you can't have done much more.
Yeah, I definitely thought that both of them, well, I mean, certainly the free kick and Jeremiah's header, I definitely thought it was in. Full credit to the goalkeeper.
I think I celebrated a goal 3 times in about 60 seconds and we didn't score. So.
Yes, we were certainly unlucky in that one. Moving on to the next 2 home games in particular, against Ayr and Partick Thistle. Ayr on the Tuesday night, it was a chance to bounce back against a team that hadn't won in the championship this far, and unfortunately we managed to lose the game. What did you make of that game, and in particular the big decisions in that match?
So I think the first half was really slow build-up play. The manager referenced it, and it's one thing. I know we're on a bit of a sticky run at the moment, but I've been really impressed at the fact that the manager has recognised the same things that us in the stands can see. Many times before, we've kind of go, well, what games the manager watching, or what are they talking about? But it's great that we're on the same page. I guess we need to do something about it now. But yeah, it was a bit of a stalemate. Ayr got the goal, sat back. They didn't look like sort of threatening again, didn't look like scoring again, but they didn't have to. We were kind of quite slow in a build-up play, and obviously once we got the red card, if anything, it galvanised us. We started playing a little bit better after the red card for Jeremiah. Looks like we had a point to prove and kind of took the game to Ayr a little bit more. But story of maybe the last few seasons, we just couldn't get the ball at the back of the net. And then on to the Thistle game. A terrible start, a goal down after a couple of 1 minute perhaps. But I thought we played really well in the first half against Thistle. Numerous chances didn't go our way, and the second goal, which was an outstanding effort from Logan Chalmers, kind of killed the game off. Once we went down to 10 men again, you kind of thought that was game over. So with my glass half full head on, I'd say there was plenty of positives, but ultimately not two results that we were happy with.
Yeah, going into the Queen's Park game as well, just the Saturday there, looking to bounce back from the two defeats, and ultimately we had a lot of chances in the first half. Charlie Gilmour hitting the bar, and yeah, it was just a strange game, shall we say, Ricki?
Yeah, and change of shape and formation as well, with the injury to Kyle Benedictus. But again, first half, lots of the ball. We just, when we get to that final third, maybe lacking that sort of killer instinct or final pass, and that's something that's haunted us for a couple of years. Second half, I thought we fell away a little bit. I think Queen's Park kind of got a foothold in the game, and they came looking for a point, and that's what they got. So yeah, obviously Logan, really disappointing for the club over the last few weeks or so with the results, but got a bit of a break now, a chance to reset. Hopefully lots of work getting done on the training pitch, just to kind of hopefully find a bit of a settled 11. It's something I've been thinking about, that I don't think we've played the same 11 twice in a row since the season started, due to whether that's injuries or suspensions. So hopefully a bit of a chance to reset and have a more successful second quarter of the season.
Making his debut on Saturday was Nuruddin Abdullahi, and I thought he was brilliant. Did you?
I thought it was brilliant. I was nervous. Obviously coming into the Scottish game, his first game in Scotland, with an amber weather warning. I thought the poor boy's probably freezing and soaked through. But I thought he took absolutely everything in his stride. Did not look out of place at all. Really commanding, and absolutely a positive from Saturday.
Obviously, we were a wee bit worried when we seen Benny going off against Partick Thistle with that hamstring injury, but Nuruddin seemed to slot in fine, and we managed to keep the clean sheet on Saturday.
Yeah, and if you're looking for positives, then that's absolutely got to be one of them. It gives, I think, the manager a bit of a selection headache when Kyle's back fit, because if Nuruddin keeps that kind of performance up, then he'll be a hard man to shift. But that said, Queen's Park didn't really threaten much. I don't know how much Nuruddin was really tested on Saturday, so I'm sure he'll have a sterner test against our friends Race Rovers in a week's time.
Finally, on the recent matches, Alphonse Ahmad was the captain on Saturday, and he's managed to become a mainstay in that Dunfermline midfield next to Charlie Gilmour. Just how impressive you have been with Alphonse, especially on Saturday, having the captain's armband as well.
Yeah, I am absolutely a member of the Alphonse Almadi fan club. I think he's been outstanding since he's come in. Every time he gets the ball into him, he just manages to get it out his feet. He's always looking to go forward, and he's a bit of a terrier in midfield as well. Small stature, but he's going after everything. If he does give away possession, he's the first to go and get it back. So he's reminded me a bit of an Andy Geoghegan type player, where he's just in there getting in amongst it, which is something we've maybe lacked as well over the last few years. So yeah, really, really impressed with Alphonse, and hopefully more to come from him.
A good comparison.
Cheers.
Moving on to the recent events that we've had at the football club. First of all, the fan forum at the Alhambra Theatre last Tuesday, where in attendance with host Stephen Mill was CEO David Cook, manager Neil Lennon, and chairman Jim Leithman. Ricki, I understand you weren't at the fans forum, but just how important are these events to give the fans more of an understanding about what's going on at the club?
Yeah, I think it's really important. It's something that the club's done a lot over the last however many years, but maybe they fell away. More recently, the fact that the club changed it to the Alhambra to allow more fans to attend, I thought was a great move. Free tickets as well, and I think you could even get a pint or two, so that was even better. But yeah, that constant stream of communication between club and fans is something that every fan wants. Maybe you'll not always get the answer you want or an answer you like, but the fact that the club has been a bit more open with its communication has got to be a positive thing, right?
And then also the black and white ball, which was last Saturday after the Partick Thistle game. I'm sure the spirits would have been lifted after that one with the event at the Glen Pavilion. And Barry Nicholson and Stevie Morrison getting inducted into the Hall of Fame that night. You'll be able to speak about Barry Nicholson in particular, just how important he was to Dunfermline.
Yeah, I mean, looking back to that era of being a Pals fan, it was unbelievable. Every Saturday you're expecting a win, especially at East End Park. It became a bit of a fortress back then, and obviously Barry's most fondly remembered for that goal up at Pittodrie. I remember it well before your time, Logan. But yeah, I sneaked off school early, headed up to Pittodrie in the car, and didn't get back home till well gone midnight. And as soon as I got home, we put on the highlights of the game to watch it back. Special goal, but he was more than that for us. He was on that right wing for Jimmy Calderwood's side, and fantastic player, and we're privileged to have him at our club. Apologies to Stevie Morrison, he was before my time, so I can't give you any tales about him, but well worthy of his place in the Dunfermline Hall of Fame.
Perfect. And moving on to the Scotland women's game, which is upcoming at the end of the month against Switzerland at KDM Group East End Park. And the main talking point, of course, is the return of Caroline Weir to the city. Real Madrid midfielder, but she might have played at the Bernabeu before, but you can't beat playing at KDM Group East End Park, can you, Ricki?
Absolutely, the hallowed turf. So I'm sure she'll be looking forward to it as much as we all are. But I think it's real cool for the city to have the Scotland national team coming in and playing our football here. The fact that the pitch has recently been relayed is no doubt a factor in that as well. So hopefully a really good crowd to get behind the ladies.
And of course, with the Scotland memberships as well, you allowed free tickets with the Scotland the men's games to go to these sort of games. Just a great initiative is that to get bigger crowds into KDM Group East End Park as well.
Yeah, and obviously our stadium is prime for that. The fact that we've got a really good infrastructure in the stadium. Love to see a really big crowd there, especially for maybe fans who don't usually regularly attend women's games in particular. So we'd love to see a huge crowd there to cheer them on.
Tickets are available now on Dunfermline Athletic's official website. Moving on to the international call-ups in the next week or two. Some of our lads will be playing their games, which is something that we're getting used to now with these fixture call-ups as well.
Yeah.
Exactly, Ricki. Jeremiah Silicoa-Mullen is off with the Scotland under-21. John Todd off with the Scotland under-19. Alphonse Ahmad with Mozambique. Craig Kearney and Mason Munn with Northern Ireland under-21. That's a great achievement is that, Ricki, for the boys.
I think it's a real sign of where we're at as a club. The fact that we have these young, exciting players coming through and obviously recognised at their national youth team levels. So we all know the sort of idea behind the players we are buying at the moment. Young talent on good sort of longer contracts, potentially going to make the club some money in the future. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have heard many of our players over the last 5-6 years making international squads, and there we've got 5 in the one window. So a real positive, and I hope they'll come back unscathed and uninjured. But I hope they really enjoy themselves.
Now, Alphonse in particular has a chance to qualify for the World Cup next summer. Can you imagine the powers with a player at the World Cup?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we'd all be getting the Mozambique talks looked out, and squeezing a trip into USA or Canada, or Mexico to go and cheer him on. But yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity for him, as I touched on there. I think he's a fantastic player, and I don't think we would be able to hold on to him for long if he puts in a few performances of the World Cup, put it that way.
Before we speak to our special guest, Charlie Gilmour, the final talking point is our next match against Raith Rovers at KDM Group East End Park, Friday night under the light, live on BBC Scotland. Obviously, the last derby didn't go as well as we had hoped, but this one, we're at home, and we have, in terms of the recent result, this one, if we do win it, could really kick start our season.
You would like to think so, Logan. You look back at last season, I know completely different sides now, but the home team won all 4 of the 5 derbies, so we'll be hoping for a repeat of that at KDM Group East End Park next week. But there's no better way to kind of try and kickstart your season with a derby win. I think the fans would obviously really appreciate that as well. But yeah, ultimately getting points on the board is the most important thing. I'm sure the manager and the squad know that. Whether it's against Raith Rovers or whoever it's against, it's still 3 points. It doesn't get you any extra. But the fact that you get the bragging rights against your near derby rivals is obviously good for the fans.
Obviously, won't have Jefferson Serres available still due to suspension, and obviously Kyle Benedictus and Zach Rudham still out injured. Josh Cooper maybe back, but big players missing from that game. But we've seen on Saturday that the likes of Nuruddin and the likes of Keith Bray can come in and slot in and do a good job in the team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a chance for those players who haven't had as much game time at the start of the season to step up and show the manager what they're capable of and show the fans what they're capable of. Especially the last few results not going our way, it's time to maybe freshen things up and for someone else to step up and become a fan's favourite. So yeah, looking forward to the game. Put the disappointment of the last 3 or 4 results behind us, and hopefully 3 points starts our season, like you said.
Now it's time to speak to Charlie. He's been a mainstay in the team so far, so we're looking forward to speaking to him. We're now joined by Dunfermline midfielder Charlie Gilmour as our first guest on the Inside Athletic podcast. Charlie, how are you doing, mate?
Well, good, thanks. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, really
good,
mate.
Thank you. Good. So, Charlie, first question. Let's get to know you a bit more. What are your first footballing memories?
My first football memories probably was when my dad used to take me down the park, and believe it or not, he still does. So yeah, probably from when I was 5, 6 years old, going down to the park, practicing with my dad, and we've been doing it ever since.
Was your dad a bit of a player, Charlie?
He used to play just in academies and that when he was growing up and that, but I never made it. But yeah, he loves football. He used to be a football coach and that. So
he's living his dreams through you.
Yeah, he's buzzing. To be fair, he loves coming to the games and that. He enjoys it.
And then you came up through the Arsenal ranks. I think everyone who's listening will know that. How did that end up coming about? Were you spotted at a young age?
Yeah, basically I was playing for my dad's Sunday team at the time, and I think I was about 7 years old, and just played in a Sunday league tournament, and one of the Arsenal scouts picked me up, called Dave Allen, and he's Scottish, so he's from Ayrshire, but yeah, we still keep in contact pretty much every week, me and Dave. So he's more of a family member now than a friend.
And obviously, being at Arsenal, you would have played with some brilliant players. Who's some of the players that have gone on to have good careers in that academy?
Yeah, no. Well, in my age group, there was we had Joe Willock, Reece Nelson, Emil Smith-Rowe, and we had spells when Bukayo Saka was playing with us. Obviously, he's a few years below me. But yeah, literally so many players in that, like all different types of level, maybe at the top level or just the level that I'm playing at the moment.
And have you always kind of played in the position you play now, that sort of sitting midfielder, or have you played anywhere else?
Yeah, I've played sort of box to box. So I like, obviously, back in the day, I used to grab a few goals and a few assists, but not as much nowadays. I don't know. I just like trying to get on the ball as much as I can, trying to make things happen, and yeah, just try to do a bit of everything. To be honest, like have a bit of everything in my game, basically.
Are you still in touch with any of the Arsenal sort of academy guys these days?
Yeah, I still speak to. Obviously, these guys aren't there no more, but Josh Da Silva, who's at Brentford, Eddie Nketiah, who's at Crystal Palace. So yeah, there's a few guys really close with Marcus McGuane, who's at Huddersfield.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, everyone's obviously gone on their different pathways, but no, it's interesting to see like everyone's progress.
All the paths, absolutely.
Yeah.
And obviously making your debut for Arsenal, that must have been a special moment, and coming on for Mesut Ozil as well, that must have been special.
Yeah, no, that was mad. To be fair, yeah, obviously my first my debut was actually away in Ukraine, minus 15 degrees. So obviously, I think like that just took away a bit of the nerves when I was coming on. So yeah, that was ideal. And then obviously a few weeks later, I made my home debut. Obviously coming on for Ozil, and yeah, that's my profile picture pretty much for everything.
Yeah, that's everything.
Literally.
And I was just saying, after that sort of initial debut, did you get any more games after that? Was it just the sort of 2 subs appearances? What else happened at Arsenal?
Yeah, no, it was just the 2 sub appearances. But yeah, I was training pretty much consistently for the last 6 months I was there with the first team. So obviously all of them like chances and them experiences are obviously ones that you put you in good stead, obviously moving forward.
Absolutely.
And obviously, you would have worked under some great coaches and managers at Arsenal. Who would you say was the most influential one when you were there?
To be honest, I'd probably say, if I'm looking sort of like the most recent, I'd probably say Freddie Ljungberg when he was the 23s manager. I feel like he gave me that freedom and that confidence to play. Just like trying to get on the ball all the time, even if like you do make a mistake. He was a good manager, and yeah, no, he was a very good coach as well.
Big handsome man as well, right?
Yeah, no, he is. He's been a model before, hasn't he?
What about? I think you ended up going on loan to Norwich from Arsenal. Was that just to try and build up a bit of experience, or what was the thoughts behind that?
That was actually permanent. So
was it?
Obviously, yeah, my contract was done at Arsenal, and then I was literally just trying to look for options. When I was obviously 20 when I left Arsenal, and yeah, signed a 2-year deal with Norwich, and that obviously didn't go as planned. But yeah, obviously everything happens for a reason. Obviously, I went on loan to a team in Holland called Telstar.
Okay.
I think they're in the top flight now, but they were in the 2nd division when I went. But the manager there was academy manager at Arsenal. So obviously I knew him from before, Andries Jonker, very good guy. And obviously helped me get that move on loan to Telstar, obviously from Norwich. But that was the plan all along, sort of thing. To obviously sign with Norwich and then go on loan straight away.
How did you find adapting to playing men's football in Netherlands as well?
Yeah, no, it was good, to be fair. Even like it's weird because like the transition from obviously like academy to men's football is obviously a big jump, but it wasn't so much of a big jump in Holland because like they try and like still play young players. Obviously, there's like loads of men in there as well, but it was more of a little stepping stone sort of thing. And obviously, first team football and like results matter and that. And it was a great experience for myself, to be honest. I loved it there.
And then after that, you ended up coming up to Scotland. So I think it was St Johnstone you ended up at first. How did that move come about?
Yeah, well, obviously, when I left Norwich, I signed a 2-year deal, and I only stayed there for the year. So obviously, agreed to rip up the contract, and yeah, it was just sort of myself just trying to look for options, and had a few trials in England, had a few trials in Scotland, and then I come up to St Johnstone for a trial, and I got a 6-month deal. It was halfway through the season. And then, didn't really get much game time that 6 months, but I didn't really expect to be honest. It was sort of just to get my foot in the door, keep training, keep being around the first team environment for 6 months, and then the following season, hopefully push in and try and like play as many games as possible. So that was the plan in my head. Obviously, nothing ever happens like that.
Yeah.
But so obviously I was there for 2.5 years in the end at St Johnstone.
You've got family ties with Scotland, right? You've
got yeah. My dad's Scottish, so see, my nan and granddad they live in Motherwell, so I see them quite a bit, and they're buzzing. Obviously, that I'm fairly local to them as well.
Because I've seen that you're doing a bit of playing for Scotland and a bit of playing for England in your youth career, so you're going to have to make a choice maybe in the next 6 months or so who you're going to have to go with.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I enjoyed playing for both, but I probably preferred. I'm not just saying that. I probably preferred playing for Scotland more. I feel like it was just it's just more like I felt like there was a more like togetherness, obviously in the games and that, and like winning your games for Scotland, like they just felt so much better. But obviously back in the day and that, I just wanted to play football, so it didn't really bother me. Do you know what I mean? In that sort of way. Just wanted to play as many games as I could.
What players were in that in the Scottish teams you played for?
We had Ryan Porteous, Glenn Middleton, Zach Rudden, obviously, who's here now.
Oh, really?
Who else do we have? I'm trying to think who's actually like. Yeah, I think they're the three probably. Yeah, they're notable ones, to be honest.
That's funny that you've come full circle and you're now a teammate of Zach's again.
Yeah, no, literally. Yeah, I was with him at St Johnstone for a spell as well. But obviously, I never really got to play with him. So it's nice to play with him now.
And would you been involved with the St Johnstone Cup win, the league and cup double that they won? Were you on the bench at the League Cup final?
Yeah, I was there, but that's probably about it. But yeah, no, obviously I didn't really get much game time there in the whole like 2.5 years for whatever reason. But yeah, so obviously some clubs you go to, some things like obviously work out and some doesn't. So that was just one that didn't work out, and I sort of move onwards now.
And obviously you joined Inverness following leaving St Johnstone. Obviously it was a difficult spell at that time at Inverness. You first of all joined in the Championship and then played a lot of games in both the Championship and in League One. How did you find your time up in Inverness?
Yeah, I loved it. Obviously on the pitch and that, it was perfect, to be honest. Obviously not so much off the pitch, but for me, like, I just worry about like more so on the pitch. But obviously I had Billy Dodds as manager. Obviously when I first arrived, obviously he gave me the opportunity, and then Duncan Ferguson come in, which got on really well with him. Obviously I still speak to him to this day as well. So it's, he's a very good guy, very good coach as well. And obviously we had a tough first year, obviously getting relegated, and enjoyed my time last year as well, even though it was in League One. But yeah, obviously Scott Kelleher come in, and I just played it pretty much every minute of every game. So when I'm playing, I feel like I'm happy no matter the standard. I've always said that anywhere I want to go now, I just want to play and enjoy my football.
Well, that comes back to what you said earlier about, everything happening for a reason, and the fact that you went down to League One, played every minute of every game, probably puts you in a position to move back up the league. So the deal that you signed with Dunfermline Athletic. So I think there's something to be said for that. I'm interested. I don't think there's many Scottish lower league footballers that have had the career you have. Being at a side like Arsenal, how is the sort of difference between a training ground of Arsenal's calibre to going to maybe your St Johnstone or Inverness Caledonian Thistle?
Yeah, no, it's different. Yeah, obviously at Arsenal you get the best of everything, like whether it's nutrition, like literally like gym work and that, and just everything is like covered. Whereas obviously St Johnstone maybe not, and all that, and Inverness, but St Johnstone wasn't as organised, I felt, as obviously previous clubs that I've been at, but Inverness, obviously it's weird because I'm trying to say it like at Inverness I was playing, so like I sort of dismiss, do you know what I mean? I sort of dismiss everything else off the pitch. So it's yeah, it's obviously different, but it's the reality really. Because at Arsenal, obviously, you're living in a bubble really, and obviously only a small minority obviously make it at that top level. But yeah, I guess it's just like the real world really.
That's it.
Obviously, you mentioned you worked under Duncan Ferguson as well. Have you got any stories about Big Dunk?
Yeah, I've got loads. Nah, there's been just so many. But yeah, I still keep in contact with him and his son, obviously. Yeah, you'll never hear me say a bad word about Dunk. Definitely not. But he's a character. He's a character.
Was he a good coach? Was he a good coach to
Very,
work under?
yeah, very good, very good. Obviously, I had him obviously just probably about a year, just over a year, and yeah, he just was so good for me. He definitely improved my game massively, and yeah, we got on really well. And he's the sort of manager you wanna play under because like he gives your all to us as players, and obviously you just return that favour.
And you would have played with Keith Bray at Inverness Caledonian Thistle as well. And was it, am I right in thinking, was Jeremiah Chilacola-Mullen there as well for a brief period? So how did those two sort of settle in up the road?
Yeah, Jez had a short spell. I think he come on loan, but obviously it got cut short because I think he'd done his back. But yeah, he looked promising to be honest. Obviously when he come up, but he only had like 5 or 6 games. So it was unfortunate to lose him as well, especially in the championship season, because obviously he would have been a big asset for us. And obviously Keith, obviously the first year didn't really play in the championship, but the last season in League One he played a massive part. To be honest, he scored big games and big goals in big games, and yeah, he was a very good, valuable player for us last year.
I think we're all looking forward to him hitting some form with Dunfermline as well, because the last few games he's been a bit more involved. So yeah, hopefully he finds that with us as well.
No, definitely, that's the main thing. Just for every player, just having that rhythm of trying to get yourself like game time, and that's where you play your best, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something you think that's improved your game as well is that game time, getting regular games and improving as an individual.
Yeah, definitely. That's just what the game's about. Like I always say it to like my friends and that, obviously they play football, and we always speak about like when we're talking about our games, like we'll call up each other on after the games on Saturdays, and we'll just speak about them. And it's just all like just having that. I feel like it's more confidence in football because everyone's got the ability. Do you know what I mean? Especially if they're playing, like say they're playing for Dunfermline, like everyone's got ability because they're here. But it's just about being confident enough to show it, basically. So for me, it's more of a mental side than a physical side in not just myself, but like a lot of players. So I think
that's really interesting. How about how did the move to ourselves come about? Out of contract at at Inverness Caledonian Thistle, was that a call from an agent, or did you have a few rumours going around that we were interested?
Yeah, to be honest, there was quite a bit of interest early on. Halfway through last season was the first time I heard about it, and obviously I was in a rhythm at Inverness, and I think the clubs were speaking, but obviously nothing ever happened halfway through the season, or obviously just towards the end of the window. But yeah, it was good for it to actually get done at the start of the season. And it was quite early as well. Obviously, I was away on holiday at the time, and I got a call from the gaffer. And yeah, it was just a no-brainer, to be honest, when the gaffer called me. And yeah, definitely I wanted to be here.
And touching on the gaffer, how's Neil been as a manager? Don't know if you've had much interaction with him previously, but impressed with what you've seen?
Yeah, no, definitely. To be honest, I think he's top. Obviously, it's obviously from where he's managed previously and all that speaks for himself. But just like it's just mad, yeah. The way he's just on and off the pitch, like the presence that he has. I'm sure people can see it from the outside, but you don't realize it how big it is when you're in it. And yeah, it's just very good coach, very good man manager as well, and I feel like he's already helped my game massively. And yeah, I can't wait to obviously got a 3-year deal, so hopefully he's there for the whole 3 years with me.
Obviously, with the season so far, not we would have liked to be in a better position, but a few good results in there. The likes of Arbroath away and Airdrie at home and games like that. How have you found it this season so far?
Yes, obviously, like you say, it's been challenging, obviously, with the results, because I feel like we should be higher than what we've got now at the moment in terms of points wise. But that's the reality. We're not. So yeah, it's just down to us to start picking up points now. Obviously, we've not won in 4 at the moment. But for me, it's just frustrating because I want the next game to come all the time. Do you know what I mean? So after you've lost, you're just like, after the game, you're just thinking, I just can't wait for the next game. That's the only annoying thing with like the Scottish schedule. Obviously, in England, you're getting Saturday, Tuesday. So you've got that momentum and that bounce back. Even if you do win, it's like, I want another game now to get 6 points. So it's it's one of them ones where we feel like we should be higher, but at the end of the day, we're not. So we've just got to go and put it right now in the next set of games.
You'd rather be playing on a Tuesday than training, I'm sure.
No, definitely, yeah, 100%. You just can't beat games and that. And the more games, the less training you do.
Absolutely. You mentioned a bit about the team's aspirations. Looking up the table based on the last few results. What about any sort of personal goals for yourself? You mentioned it earlier on about scoring a few more. You were about a couple of inches away on against Queen's Park with hitting the bar.
Yeah, for me, it's just literally just trying to get as many minutes as I can to play consistently well, because I feel like that's key as well. People can play well 1 or 2 games, but I want to play well the whole season. And yeah, just to keep playing well, and just climb the table really. Because at the end of the day, if the team does well, then us boys as individuals do well. So it's pretty much good for everyone. So good for the fans, good for the players, and good for the club.
Absolutely.
You've been partnered alongside Alphonse for the majority of the games as well. How have you found playing alongside him? Because an international player as well. He's a real talent.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I feel like the fans in that have seen a lot more of him. Obviously, recently. Yeah, and really enjoy playing with him. But likewise with the other boys as well, Tash, Hammy as well. I feel like there's good competition in that midfield, and I feel like whoever steps into that midfield will do a good job, really. And I'm not even just saying that, but yeah, it's good competition, and it keeps you on your toes as well. So obviously you can't not just slack off for a game or 2. Do you know what I mean? You have to consistently be there and be on top form.
I was just going to say, I think, Charlie, you've made that kind of position your own this season. You've really came in, and certainly the fans that I've spoken to have been really impressed with what you brought to that position. It's something that we've not really had in our squads for maybe a number of seasons. So yeah, you're absolutely turned into a fan's favourite.
Appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's just yeah, like I always say, even like I always say to myself as well, like if I was to ever like say if I'm having a bad game or not doing that great, I'll always like think about the non-negotiables of always working hard, always getting stuck in, and like always wanting the ball. So like they're my 3 things. If I'm ever having a bad game, which I've had loads, I just always think about like those 3 things. And at the end of the day, you come off the pitch, you can't play well every single week, but those 3 things you can do.
Despite only being in your mid-20s, you're one of the more experienced players within the squad. How do you help the younger ones, whether it's in training, whether it's in games, to develop and to help the team as well?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm sort of a guy that tries to praise people more than putting people down, etc., etc. Obviously, everyone's different in that, but for me, it's more giving people like constructive sort of criticism. So it's like just like our next one or unlucky, or do you know what I mean? Just being that vocal voice of just keeping positive. Because going back to my point previously about confidence, you can get onto someone and they'll be there confidence wise, and then all of a sudden they're down there. Whereas obviously if someone makes a mistake, if you're going to get onto them, they're just going to go down. Whereas you're trying to get them up. Do you know what I mean? Because it helps yourself out as well. If he's playing you a good pass or he's having a shot that can win the game, then he's benefited all of us. So do you know what I mean? I sort of try and keep it positive as much as I can.
Perfect. So as just to end the interview, Charlie, we'll just go do some quick fire questions with you. So we've got 10 questions.
Cool.
Me and Ricki will ask them both to you. I'll go first. What is your pre-match ritual?
To be honest, I don't have a pre-match ritual, but it would be to prepare right. So I make sure I have a good sleep the night before. I make sure I have a good meal the night before, but it's not like a set thing. And then I make sure I'm hydrated in the mornings and make sure I have a good meal in the morning as well. So yeah, it's not really anything like set in stone. It's just preparing right, as in sleeping and eating, and I feel like I'm ready to go.
He's a model pro. It's not about what boot he puts on first or anything like that. It's about being hydrated.
Yeah, some people have that though, isn't it? But yeah, for me, it's just as long as it's in my head that I've prepared right.
That you're ready.
Then that's it. Yeah.
Good man. Okay, a controversial one, but VAR. You love it or hate it?
Nah, for me, it's no. Nah, because they still get it wrong somehow. So for me, yeah, I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. Nah, I'm not a fan of it.
Did you see the Celtic one the other night, Charlie?
Yeah, see, obviously I'm a Rangers fan, and even I couldn't even say anything against that. So that obviously says something. But I just couldn't believe that.
You're a Dunfermline fan, Charlie. Dunfermline fan.
No, yeah, I'm not as well. I'll be honest.
What is your favourite cheap meal?
I'd probably say at the moment Indian. There's a nice one, obviously, where I've just moved to. So yeah, I've been there a few times after a game.
Good on you. In the dressing room, Dunfermline dressing room, who's the biggest joker of the pack?
Yeah, I think it can only be one man, and I think Benny for sure. Yeah, he's just on another planet, to be honest.
Any shareable stories that we could hear about the captain?
None of them are PG enough. So
fair enough. Yeah, let's not go there then.
In your time with Dunfermline, have you done an initiation song? If so, what was it?
Yeah, I've done an initiation song, but it's before I tell you what it is, it's not because of the gaffer. I've done it at all my previous clubs, but it's a Penny Arcade. So,
of course it is.
yeah, so I've done it at all my previous clubs. So, yeah, it wasn't just because it was the gaffer.
So, and was he singing along? Was he?
No, I wasn't too pleased, to be honest. But no, it was a good night out as well. It was in Bulgaria, so it was good fun.
Right. You might have already answered this when we were talking about your time at Arsenal, but who's the best player that you've played with?
Best player I played with is probably, I'm going to say Chris Willock.
Are you okay?
Yeah, he's at Cardiff now.
Yeah.
But for me, growing up as a kid, he was amazing.
Phenomenal.
Just like his dribbling, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Maybe not had the best career in terms of like the team that he's played for, but yeah, for actual ability wise, yeah, I'd probably put him as the best player I played with.
You've got plenty of options for this one coming up as well. Who was your idol growing up?
For me, it was Gerrard. Yeah, Steven Gerrard. Just because he had a bit of obviously everything, and that's sort of what I wanted to be in terms of like having like attributes like him in terms of like, do you know what I mean? Like on and off the ball, attacking, defending, pretty much good at everything, isn't he? So that's sort of what I try and do to my game. Try and add as much stuff to my game as possible.
Class. What about your favourite moment in football so far?
Favourite moment is probably obviously coming on for Arsenal to make my debut, to be honest.
Hard to beat that, to be fair.
Yeah, something obviously that you dream of and that, and it's just, yeah, like I worked 14 years for that moment really, and yeah, I know it was only 15 minutes, but it's something that will obviously live forever.
And you've got your profile picture sorted for the rest of your
Yeah,
life. So
exactly. So that's me. That's me sorted now.
good on you.
And obviously, you'll have hobbies outside of football. What's your favourite sport outside of football?
For me, that's easy. Boxing. Yeah, love watching the boxing. Pretty much watch it obviously every time there's an event on, even like the smaller shows. My dad and my brother are big fans of boxing as well, so yeah, we have a little good chat about it and yeah, enjoy it. Obviously, I used to box years ago when I was younger, but obviously I had to stop because of football. But really enjoyed it, even like just the training and just the mindset of just putting all your effort into it basically, and I feel like that helped me with my football, even like just to toughen up on the pitch. Because I'd probably say back in the day when I was young, I probably never really tackled as much. Um, so yeah, now I feel like I've added that to my game where I do get stuck in there.
And you might have just answered the last question, but what would you be if you weren't a footballer?
Oh, no, I wouldn't be a boxer. No. Nah, it's not that good. Nah, to be honest, I'm not actually sure what I'd be. Nah, I feel like I'd do something because I'm so like hardworking. I feel like everything I try and do, I try and do it to the best of my ability. So yeah, I don't know what specifically I would do, but yeah, I'll try and I know whatever I would do, I would just put all my effort into it.
Quite right.
Before we end, Charlie, I just want to ask you, next game, probably the big ones of the season we look forward to in the calendar is the Fife Derby. Um, Obviously, it wasn't the result we wanted the last time.
Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to that game, and how much do you want to rectify that result as well?
Yeah, I'm buzzing to be honest for it. I can't wait. It's just a shame that it's not this Friday. No, obviously, you have to wait another week for it. But yeah, obviously disappointed to lose to them earlier on. But yeah, it's a big game. Obviously, Friday night under the lights and it's on TV. So yeah, these are the games you want to play in. I know it's easy to say and that, but they're just so easy to get up for. Obviously, with the atmosphere and that, and obviously I had a good taste of it last time. And yeah, just hopefully we can get a positive result, and yeah, it'll be even better atmosphere as well because it's at our pitch.
Perfect. Great chatting to you, Charlie. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Thank you.